Que tal, quando terminar de ouvir seu podcast, assistir ao filme do ano? Barbie já está disponível na HBO Max para você ver quantas vezes quiser, de onde quiser. Bom, que a HBO Max é o lugar onde você encontra as maiores estreias do cinema, você já sabe. Mas a melhor parte, talvez você ainda não saiba. Você não paga nada a mais por isso. Dá para acreditar? Barbie e muitos outros sucessos de bilheteria você assiste na HBO Max.
Today on CityCast Chicago, it's holiday season, which means it's also gift-giving season. During this time, there's a lot of pressure trying to figure out the best gifts, right? For our loved ones. We got parents, we got lovers, we got cousins and friends to think about. So we split up the city with executive producer Simone Alicea, newsletter editor Sidney Madden, and producer Michelle Navarro to help you find the perfect gift Chicago has to offer for any of your loved ones. It's Tuesday, December 19th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the microphone.
Hey, Jacoby.
Oh, look at that. Everybody right on time. Before we get into it, when I think about these categories, right, whether it's your partner, whether it's your friends, your parents, or even kids in your life, right, these have they have differing degrees of difficulty of how hard is it to shop for these different categories. And, you know, between the four of us, we have these different relationships, right? Some of us have partners who are shopping for us, our parents, our friends. I'm going to start with you, Simone. Are you an easy person to shop for?
I think I'm the easiest person to shop for, Jacoby. I really do. I don't buy things for myself that I like. And so if you see something that I like, I will be so happy when you get it for me.
Because you probably don't have it.
I don't have it. I 100% do not have it. It's clothes, home goods, whatever it is. Like, I will be happy.
Sidney, are you an easy person to shop for?
I think it depends who you ask. I'm not a super materialistic person. So in that way, not all gifts I want, but if someone just takes me out to dinner as a present, perfect.
I like that. Michelle, what about you?
I think I'm a little picky. Like, I'm the type of person, I'll say like, oh, just give me a candle. But in my head, I'll be like, I hope it's like sandalwood. Or like if someone's like, I'll be like, oh, I want socks. But then they give me socks and I'll be in my head, I'll be like, oh, I should have said I wanted the crew socks. Yeah. So I feel like I do like my things in a specific way. But I make it easy. Like I'm the kind of friend, like I'll tell people straight up what I want. Or I'll start giving them kind of like, hey, I want this for Christmas. I want that for Christmas. So my friends generally have an idea of what I want already.
See, I don't do that. I'm awful.
No, I like that. I think I give off the allure that I want nice things. So I feel like I'm easy to shop for because my friends just assume, and my mom just assumes I want nice things. Like last Christmas, my homie Darius got me a bag with my name stitched into it. And every time I travel any airport, it's the bag I use for all my packed things. So my friends just assume that I want like custom cool things. And so they just go ahead and give it to me. So I like to think that I'm easy because I'm predictable. Like we said earlier, each of us broke up not only different parts of the neighborhood, but we really broke down to different categories as well. And we're going to start with parents, which I'd like to think is one of the more difficult categories for a lot of different reasons. Maybe your parent is one of those people who's like, don't get me anything. I don't want anything. Maybe your parent is one of those people who has everything that they want for themselves. And so we gave the hardest category to executive producer Simone Alicea. Simone, what's your criteria for a good gift when you're thinking about your parents?
Yeah, and I'm thinking about my mom specifically here because I think my mother is maybe the hardest to shop for on my list. And it's tough because she is the opposite. Like when she likes something, she gets it. And I think it's also tough too, like when you're an adult giving your parents gifts, like you move into that part of your life and you're like trying to figure out like what is this really good gift for this person who raised me, you know? And so here's kind of what I'm looking at. Number one, I'm going back home. I'm flying back home to Seattle. So it's got to be something that fits in my luggage. I can't be getting something that's like huge.
Good criteria.
You know, I also, because I don't live at home, because I don't live in the same city as my mother does, I really love to give her something and give people something that like you can only find in Chicago, that's locally made, that really has got Chicago vibes. Like it's not something that like any of her friends in Seattle are going to have. You know what I mean? Like it's going to have kind of that feeling of exclusivity just by virtue of the fact that I got it here.
My baby work in Chicago.
You know what I mean? Like I just like tap into that parent pride a little bit, I think. And so if I had to actually like think about like what my mother would actually want for Christmas from me, really what it would be is to buy her a plane ticket to Chicago, put her up in a hotel, and spend a night at the casino. That's what she actually wants from me. Yeah. And I actually looked up, I was like, there's no way that casino has a hotel attached. It doesn't. The temporary casino at Medina Temple does not. But there is, they do have a partnership with Royal Sonesta in River North where they have like a shuttle and you get like, get like a drink voucher and stuff like that. So that would be like, if I had all the money in the world and I had to think about what my mother actually wants from me for Christmas, that's what I would get her. But I think instead I would go for jewelry or I would go for art from someone who's local.
You got any places in mind in your neighborhood?
Yes, I do. So a couple places in Lincoln Square that I really like. Nomadic Ant, which is a jewelry shop. And that's not just local makers, but it is, all the jewelry there is like handmade. Like it's very sort of one of a kind of jewelry that's on Western. Very, very cool, very bold, very artsy kind of stuff. Like if you have a jewelry lover in your life, that is a place where you're not just going to kind of find the same old, hoops and rings that you would see anywhere. That's going to be a little bit pricier for something at a slightly better price point. Also in Lincoln Square, like Midwest Nice. That is for like, if you have someone who likes the more graphic style of jewelry, maybe some earrings that have something like a silly phrase on them or, something like if you want to get something that would be like Chicago style hot dog earrings, right? Like that would be the place where you would get that kind of thing. That is on Lincoln. And then my other pick would be, I really love to get art for people, like especially art if they work in an office of some kind. Like that is the kind of thing that people don't think about necessarily for themselves, and it can really like brighten up that space. The Galleria in Andersonville is a great spot because it features several different artists, and like there's like, I don't know, something like 50 plus booths that you can kind of explore there of different art and some really, really cool stuff. Some other picks that are slightly outside my neighborhood and outside the north side that I just want to shout out because I love it for little gifts you can take on a plane. Lost Girls Vintage in Logan Square, Humboldt House in Humboldt Park, and RR Number 1 Chicago in Westtown. These are all like little gift shops, home good shops. RR Chicago is a especially good one. Like that's where I would go to shop for my dad. Like there's a lot of really great gifts for men, I think.
While you were talking about that, I was wondering, Sidney, do you find your parents easy or hard to shop for?
Very hard to shop for. I'm a big fan of an IOU type of present, but I've done a lot of IOUs and I'm getting kind of called out for it at this point.
Oh,
so
no!
yeah, it's not good. It's like a mega birthday present, Father's Day present, Christmas present that I owe my dad for a couple of years now.
I love that.
Do you have an idea of what that's going to be? Do you even have like a concept?
So the thing is, I have great ideas. You guys know this. I struggle with the execution part.
My mom is like Simone's mom. She knows what she likes and she buys it immediately. If she wants something for her house, she online. If she wants a coat or something, she gonna grab it. For the next category, we're gonna come over to you, Sidney. And I think this might be like might be the next, if not like competing for one of the most like difficult categories of people to shop for, your partners, people you're in relationships with, because there's so many dimensions. How long have you been with the person, right? Yeah. What other holidays and anniversaries are around that time? Like the pressure of, do they like it? Do they not like it? So again, we gave that to you. So when you're thinking about getting a good gift for David, how do you start?
Yeah, so I should preface this by saying, like, if you guys have ever taken the love language quiz, gift giving's like bottom, 0. So it's really, really hard. What I will say though is he's a very laid back, easygoing person. So it's not like super hard to impress him. Versus me, I'm a little pickier. So for this year, I'm on a budget. I'm trying to keep the gift under a certain amount. I'm sure other people can relate. And there are some bigger expenses we want to save for this year. One of them being I really, really, really want us to go on a trip to Mexico City. So my present to him is going to be a taste of Mexico City as a way to kind of like hype up the trip. So to do that, I'm going to go to Colores Mexicanos on Mag Mile. It's North Michigan Avenue. Got that suggestion from the folks who helped us pen our Mag Mile neighborhood guide. And I'm going to get him this red clay face mug and then this Mexican brown sugar and cinnamon coffee. So it's like literally a taste of Mexico. And then I'm going to pop down to Exile in Bookville, South Michigan Avenue, quick walk, and get him just, like one of those tour guide books. Because we did that last year and he planned the whole trip and I loved it. So it's a present for him and me.
Oh, that's amazing. Michelle, when you are, shopping for a partner, do you feel a lot of pressure? Do you pay attention throughout the year and like take little notes and like your notes app, things that you might want to get in a couple of months? How do you go about gift giving?
Yeah, like because I'm the kind of person that I drop hints, I be listening, I listen too. So I definitely have a notes app and I'll be like, okay, this person said they want this, but they wouldn't get it. Like also kind of like what Simone said, like there's things that I know people wouldn't get for themselves. And so it's sweet when you get them those things. But when it comes to my partner, he's also picky like me, which is hilarious. So I definitely have to, I keep my just eyes and ears open about, it's like you have to do some research in advance and just observe and like figure out what they want. And also make sure that they don't get it. That's what I'm worried about. Like if they like something a lot and they're like, I kind of want to get it. I'll be like, no, you don't need it. You don't need it. Knowing that it's like in my cart already.
That's your gaslight so you can get the gift off. I think one of the easier categories to shop for is friends. Not only because my hope is that we all know our friends pretty well and it's kind of easy to pick out the things they want, but my hope is compared to like parents and even partners, that the pressure is just less. That honestly, if my friends don't like a gift, I'm like, suck it up. It is what it is.
Like, just be happy you got something.
Come on. Like,
you're not trying to impress them. That's true. It's like they already know you so well.
It's just love. It's just like,
it's
it's such a, I feel like it's such a pure way of just being like, thanks for being around. Here's a candle.
Here's a candle.
Be a little cheaper.
Here's some soap.
And let's be real, we definitely have like maybe large acquaintance and associate networks, but like the friends we actually giving gifts to on like during the holidays, that like starts to get a little bit smaller. And like y'all said, it is a little more intimate. And so when we talked about our guide to December, I kind of gave away some of the places I like to start when I'm thinking about my friends. And so like one of my best friends is Darius, and he's a person who loves comic books. Like you go to his house, he's always collecting new comic books. He's starting to get like some action figures around. And so between my neighborhood of Hyde Park, there's First Aid Comics on 55th right off of Cornell. And then in back of the yards, there's Raw Comics right off of 47th and Western. And so for Darius, I'm going to First Aid Comics because I already called them up and asked them, do you all have the new edition in the current run of the Spider-Man series? It's the Amazing Spider-Man series. It's like a 30 edition series. They're 11 in as of tomorrow. And so my plan is to buy him the first 11. And it's got characters like not only Spider-Man, but Miles Morales, Spider-Woman, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and more. So I'll present him these 11 comics and to add to his extremely large and ever-growing collection. And then over at Raw Comics, when I think friends and particularly best friends, I grew up with a younger sister and an older brother, only 18 months apart both ways. And so both of those two people are two of my best friends. And so my little sister who lives in Atlanta, every time I go to her apartment, her Funko Pop collection is growing. But I also know she loves Squid Game. And so Raw Comics on their website currently has a few of the Squid Game characters, including Ali, who I don't know if y'all watched Squid Game. He had a really tragic end to his story. Just,
Isn't that the whole story of Squid Game? Isn't it all tragic?
it is, except for the dude who won. I thought it was pretty good for him. And then you got
I
Il
don't know.
Nam, who, no spoilers, but has a big part, the old man in it. And so I was thinking of getting the 4 Funko Pop characters to add to her larger collection from those 2 stores.
Shopping for a sibling is so much fun, I feel like. And a friend, as you say, you get to be kind of like real with them, right? I had my brother was in town for his birthday, and he is a big gamer, a big board gamer like I am. And so I took him to like a local board game shop, and I felt like Patrick Dempsey in Sweet Home Alabama. Like I walked into the shop and I was like, pick one. And I bought him a game.
Yeah, I bought my brother that handheld PlayStation for his birthday. And so, this gift season might be a little more sparse. But when I'm thinking about other friends, this holiday season, kind of to a vibe Sidney said, I kind of want to keep costs low. And I think one way to do that, even though it could add up, is to do kind of small gift baskets. Like just give a couple of small gifts. And a great place over in Kenwood, right off of 47th and Greenwood, is Carver 47. And on first entry, you might just think this is a cafe because they got great donuts, they got great croissants, amazing breakfast sandwiches, but they also are like a local goods shop as well. So inside, they have like a local flower selection that you can pick from, and you can put together bouquets that they change weekly. But they got skincare products, tote bags, books. I recently bought a day planner and calendar for 2024. They have mugs. They put me on this great Japanese barbecue sauce that I've been using a lot lately. And so you can get a few different things from a small little journal, a small mug, maybe a t-shirt and some seasoning. Put that in a gift bag and give it to your friends. And I think people would appreciate like a small assortment of gifts rather than, something big, one big thing.
Jacoby, what is the at the risk of pissing some people off, what is the gift cutoff for you? Like, how close do you have to be to somebody for them to get a gift?
Oh, that's a good question. If you're somebody who I either talk to every week or see maybe once or a couple times every couple of weeks, that friend circle is very small. And those are the kind of people who I might give like a piece of art to, like a mug, or, if I go out of town, come back with like small little trinkets right after New Year's. But yeah, I don't know. It's some years in there. If you don't know where my mama stay and you ain't never kicked it with us at my mama crib till 3 a.m., you probably ain't getting no gift bag.
Just that, I mean, you could send them to coworkers too. That last story. Really, I mean, you mentioned skincare and some spices. I was like, just throwing that out there. Planting the
Sitting with
seed.
like a Carver 47 gift basket. Hint taken.
We purposefully did not pick coworkers, I think, as a category for this conversation.
But to be real, this is like the only job that I both have and have had in which I'd be willing to give gifts to coworkers. Them other jobs, I ain't even finna front on it. Even if y'all listening now, y'all know we wasn't like giving coworkers. We know that. And then so our next category, and I'm not saying like this is the easiest category, but I'm saying,
it's low stakes.
It's little kids, right? It's the children in your life. But with that being said, teenagers can be very picky. So children, it is a wide category. But Michelle, first, before you even get into like your criteria, do you have any young kids, like children in your life that you got to shop for?
I have one niece, my sister's daughter.
What's her age?
She's 3.
Okay, so you're shopping for a 3-year-old.
Yeah, toddler. And like you said, I do think it is a little easier for kids because they're just excited about anything. The one problem I did have is that she is spoiled. She's the only grandchild on my mom's side. Like, so my mom's only grandchild. So she has like and she's like my sister's only child. So she has everything. And so it was like trying to think like, what are some things that would, I don't know, she would be excited about, something that's like a little different or unique. So when I was looking around, I found one specific toy store. They have a couple of locations, one in Lincoln Park, another in West Loop, another in Logan Square. It's called Play. And looking at their site, I think they do a really good job of kind of like separating by age group. So, if you want like a younger toddler or a baby or, someone kind of like before the preteens. So they did a really good job with that. And they also did a good job of like sectioning out, I don't know, for someone who doesn't have kids and who isn't around kids, they did a good job of kind of like making their own collections on their site. So they had a section for like kids who have outgrown the toy store.
Mm.
They have a section for the family play together. Another section was like for the cool like aunt and uncle, which was like the section I was looking for. I'm the cool aunt. And there was another one too that I really liked that said like for the kid that has everything, and I was like, oh my god, this was my dilemma. And so like in that section they had like weird stuff like a bubble blitz, which is like a bubble gun, like just like a gun that shoots bubbles. So it just has like random fun things like that I really enjoyed. So I thought that that place was really cool for things. It also had like a really large children's book collection, which like I love getting books for my niece, so I'm like have been looking at their book collection. I think in terms of like maybe for older children, I think a really good place to look for is museum gift shops. Just because they have like gifts for all types of people, and they usually do have a really interesting like kids section or like young adult section. So like you'll find puzzles in there. I was looking at the National Museum of Mexican Art gift shop just because that's like one of my favorite gift shops in the city. And they had like a Frida Kahlo doll and book set for like $15. And like they have other picture books around Mexican artists and a lot of puzzles. And I loved puzzles as a kid. So I was like, I think she's too young for puzzles, but I was like, for like a middle schooler that you're shopping for, I think a puzzle is always like a really good thing you could get a kid. When I was looking around at other places in the city, Chinatown, I've talked about this before. Chinatown has a lot of cool gift and souvenir stores that are really affordable. So there's stores where they have just like long aisles of stuffed animals. My niece loves stuffed animals. I'm a 25-year-old who also loves stuffed animals, so I can appreciate that. And also like just stationary things. And as a kid, like I was a little nerd. Like I loved getting gel pens and like color pens and color pencils and like cool notebooks. And so like those are kind of things too that I go towards. So in Chinatown, I've talked about AJ Houseware and Gifts before. That's in like the Chinatown Square Plaza. The other spots on Wentworth is Giftland. So those places are really cool for just like toys, stuffed animals. Also just like Chicago themed souvenirs too.
That's a really great tip for older kids, because I have like a 16-year-old cousin who I'm dreading shopping for this season because she's just too cool. Like she's so cool, like way cooler than I was at 16, especially. And I'm just like, what on earth am I going to get this person? And so I love that as a tip, and love that you're thinking about those folks, because that is a very hard demographic to shop for, is the teenagers in your life.
My nieces are going to be 7 and 5 in the new year. And I'm just waiting until they get old enough that I can give them like a Polaroid camera. Give them a small camera and start teaching them how to use it. Done like the fake cell phones and the instruments, but I just want to be the tech uncle. We're just giving you newer and newer gadgets to play with every single year. And so I'm excited to shop for them. We've talked most of this conversation about the people in our lives and other people, and we started about, are we easy people to shop for? Before we get out of here, just kind of a quick rapid fire. Just put it out there into the ether. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. But Michelle, what is the gift you want someone to get you this year?
So I'm going to be moving into an apartment very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's practical for a home, I would love kitchen towels, glassware, those little command strips, the command hooks, because those dogs are a little expensive.
Nah, for sure.
So
and they add up, especially if you want to be secure.
Yeah. I'm like,
you get a bunch of them if you've got a lot of art to hang. Yeah.
If y'all want to give me a little pack of them, I would love that. But anything for the home. I love when I get something and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about this, but I'm going to use it all the time.
Thank you for my measuring tape. Thank you for my little leveler.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Sidney, what's the gift you hope that you get?
Yeah, like I said, I like experiences a lot, and I've been seeing movies more recently, and so I kind of want like a movie membership, because I don't know, like I want to be going more. There looks like there's some good movies coming out early next year as well.
A little Alamo Draft House
Yeah, I was
action.
going to say
Yeah.
movie
Yeah,
membership. I like
yeah.
that.
Like the Mean Girls movie's coming out soon. I was like, oh, the Alamo Draft House will do something fun for that.
Simone, what about you? You said you're a person, you know, anything will make you happy because you don't get yourself nothing. You know, so what's going to put a smile on your face this holiday season?
Oh my God, so many things. I also need home goods because I never buy home goods for myself. It's like I feel like I see pretty things in aisles and I'm like, oh, that would be so nice. And then I walk right past it. I also very much desire to have more clothing with Chicago on it. Like I need more Chicago stuff. Like I have so many like Seattle t-shirts and stuff like that from when I lived there. And it's just like, I never buy it for myself. And like, if somebody wanted to get me something with the flag or just like some Chicago earrings or I really would love to be repping Chicago more like out in the world. And so that is something that I would really love. My shameless plug answer is I would love it if listeners would become members of CityCast Chicago. That would be great. We have a membership program. Help support CityCast, membership.citycast.fm. But truly, Chicago swag. Chicago swag is what I want.
That's a great answer. And honestly, I'll take any piece of art. I don't care how big, how small it is. Anything I could put up on the walls or like position on something on a table, any little knickknacks, I'll take them. And so, I like to think I'm relatively easy to shop for. This is a great time, not only listening to all of y'all suggestions, but getting inside y'all minds of how y'all shop for the people y'all love in your life. And I hope that gave some fantastic options to our listeners as well. So I want to give another round of thank yous. Thank you to our newsletter editor, Sidney Madden.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Thank you to our producer, Michelle Navarro.
Thanks for having me.
And big shout out and thank you to our executive producer, Simone Alicea.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Make sure you check the show notes for our CityCast Chicago gift guide and stay tapped into all the other ways we want you to get into the holiday season by subscribing to our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago. You can do that now at chicago.citycast.fm. Before I let you go, you heard Simone mention our membership program, and trust me, joining really would be a great gift for the team who make this podcast and newsletter every day. Starting at just $8 a month, you can support all the stories and guides you get from CityCast Chicago. Plus, you'll get cool perks like ad-free listening and members-only updates. Please help us stay around for hundreds of more episodes and newsletters. Sign up today at membership.citycast.fm. Now, you know I ain't gonna let you go without some good news. That's for you, Kurt. If you're like me and you will avoid ice skating at whatever cost, then join the Garfield Park Community Council for a roller skating meetup on Thursday at the Garfield Park Gymnasium from 5:30 to 8 p.m. It's free, and they got rentals provided by the Chicago Park District. As always, we appreciate you for listening, reading, becoming a member, rating and reviewing the podcast, leaving us a text or voicemail like the homie Kurt. We're gonna talk to you bright and early tomorrow. Peace. Okay, cool. I like this. Sorry, I had a whole conversation in my head, so that response was to myself. Here we go.